Have you thought about selling your house this year? Are you in a position you need to? Have you actually attempted it? And no matter what you did, prepped the house perfect, took professional photos, priced it accordingly, kept reducing the price, and you still couldn't get it sold? Well, I'm here to give you a couple suggestions on how you might get your house sold and for full price at that. My name is Jacqueline Smith. Welcome to our channel. I'm with Century 21 Arizona Foothills, and while our channel is new, I'm not. I've been in the business for 33 years. I also grew up around it. Our Arizona real estate market has moved super fast in the last 3 years. We were one of the top states to escalate. We went up almost 50%, definitely 40% in most areas in Maricopa County, Phoenix and the surrounding areas. The thing is, real estate typically moves slow. It's usually a lagging indicator, but I've seen the market move so fast, it shocks me. If somebody had told me at the beginning of this year that interest rates would go from 3% to over 7% at this point, I would have never, ever believed it. But we were artificially inflated for 2 years, and now the Fed has taken over. And unfortunately, I think they took over way too late, trying to get inflation under control. And as we all know, real estate is about 1/3 of inflation. The thing is, in my honest opinion, I think they should have started making some changes in 2021 and started to increase the rates then and did it slowly to let the market adjust. Back in March was about our peak. And then come June, when interest rates started to spike up, we saw the Phoenix market come to a screeching halt. We had a period of time because the interest rates had gone up to around the 6% range. And actually, I was seeing 6.5. We had a period of time where rates dropped back down to about 5% and the high fours, and we had a surge of buyers come back again. The thing is, there's a large pool of buyers out there, but it's an affordability issue. They just can't afford the payments. They can't afford the interest rates. So, what if I could tell you a way to get your house sold and get full price by getting creative? You see, I decided to try this on a couple of our listings myself. I'll give you a couple for instances. So we have one that the owner inherited the home from her parents. She owns it free and clear. She was actually contemplating renting it. We had started at 485 and we tried to stay ahead of the market, not chase it. There's a big difference. And so we tried to base our comps off active, pending, and under contract. We weren't really looking at the sold comps. If you look at the sold comps at this point, you really can't go past 30 days. The market's just changing too quickly. So we had gone from 485 all the way down to 433. There was a comparable house listed for 430 that was actually getting pretty good activity, and it did not have a pool like ours did. So we were trying to be very aggressive. Well, nothing was happening. So they were contemplating renting it. I went to them and I said, hey, listen, I have an idea. I've been doing this a long time. You see, when I started in the market, interest rates were double digits. And I grew up in the business, and I remember when interest rates were 18%. Again, when I started, they were double digits. Almost 50% of our contracts back then were creative financing of some sort. There's all different things that you can do. So I went to this particular seller and I said, hey, listen, instead of renting it, why don't we try to sell it at this price? Because they were anticipating they could rent it for 6 months to a year. And their idea was the market would be back and then they could sell it for the price we were at, if not more. Well, I had to have a serious talk with them and explain to them, I don't see that happening, unfortunately. I don't see us going up next year. Best case scenario will be stagnant, but there's that high possibility that we could decrease another 10 to 15%. So I said to them, what if we could get full price now? And instead of renting it, you'll get payments comparable to what rent would be, except you've got the house sold at that higher price and you don't have to worry about the market declining more. So I had the numbers penciled out for them and I showed them. We could sell it for $433 with about 15 to 20% as a down payment. Even if they took 10% down, they would still be covering their closing costs and their commissions, and they would be getting a payment around $1,900 a month, amortized over 30 years at 4% interest rate. Well, as we all know, the majority of the payments, if you amortize it over 30 years, the majority of those payments are going to be interest only. They're all front loaded in the loan. So I said, you're going to be getting the same as rent, except you know you've got it sold at that higher price. They're all in. And now, since I've changed the comments in the MLS, I actually did get a full price offer. Unfortunately, that buyer was buying it for his mother who was moving here, and her plans changed. So that did not come to fruition. However, they had given us full price, 4%, 15% down. The payments would have been around $1,900 a month. The majority of the payment would have been interest, and we put a 3-year call on that. So we're back to marketing it again, and I've got quite a bit of interest in it. I had no interest before. And I went to another one of our sellers. He also inherited his home, and it has a FHA loan on it. It's at 3 3/4, I believe. The payment's around, oh gosh, I want to say $1,200, and he owes $177, I believe. So I went to him and I said, how about this? Because he too was contemplating renting it and thinking, I'll wait for the market. Well, I told him, unless he wants to rent for at least the next couple years, we could secure a full price offer now, do terms, and you know you're getting it sold at that price and you've got income coming in. Right now, he's in another state and he's just paying that monthly payment to keep supporting the house. So I changed the comments in MLS, and again, the interest has perked up tremendously. We'll see what happens. I just changed it yesterday, but we're already having showings. The thing is, it's an affordability factor. There's buyers out there. They just can't afford to buy at 7%. With his scenario, I said, why don't we have the first becomes, it's assumable with qualifying. Typically, banks will charge 1% of the loan amount to do the loan. And of course, the buyer has to qualify to take it over. But a buyer can qualify at 3 3/4. They might not be able to qualify that same buyer at 7% at our current interest rates. And then we create a second, and we could do that at 4%. He's not going to get 4% on his money right now anywhere. So instead of supporting that vacant house that's just sitting there with no activity, now we have the potential to sell it for full price, knowing what the price is now. And we put a 3 to 5 year balloon call on these, which is okay. Most buyers are okay with that. Anyways, it's just a suggestion, something to try, and I think it might work. Well, I hope this brought some value to you. And if so, do me a favor. Please share this with somebody you think it might help. Also, if you could like and subscribe to our channel, that would be fantastic. Anyways, thanks so much, and I'll be bringing more videos like this to you soon. Thanks. Have a great day.